My name's Kyle, and I went to this conference this last week. People asked me a few times today, and last week, how you doing? And I said, better now. And it's the truth. And that's been something that I haven't shared in probably like the last 8 years. I've been wearing a mask. And for whatever reason, like, it's always just hard to be real and be vulnerable and say what's really going on. And this conference was Rise Up Kings. It was for business owners. It was about your faith, your family, your fitness, and your finances. And it was 22 other men that were real and vulnerable for a lot of them the first time in their entire lives. And it was probably the single most impactful thing I've ever done, because I really took off the mask and I was being real. And specifically, like, you know, and for whatever reason, whether it's because I was the oldest brother out of 4 boys and I had to feel like I had it all together, or just a fear of man and what would happen if I really shared what was going on, or the fear of for me, it's like I realized that I could operate at a 60 or 70%, and it was better than a lot of people's 100%, so I was always okay just living here, right? In my faith, I was like, okay, but now it's like, what would happen if I showed up 110% for God? Like, I was always scared of that because I didn't know what would happen if I actually did. Right? And even in my marriage, like, what would happen if I showed up like all the way and not just be surface level and not let Megan in? And so I was real, I was vulnerable. You know, I've had, we've had some marriage struggles over the last, years, and it was bad. It was at a bad place, and I got to be real with that, and I got to come home and be real to Megan probably for the first time in our entire marriage, and it's and it's brought so much hope, and it's brought so much peace and connection and everything. Like, sometimes marriage was good and sometimes it was bad, but it was bad here. It was never great, and now I feel like it's at a place where it's going to be great. And same with like finances. Like, finances were good and then they were bad, and then like I was just not willing to share, like, hey, where I was really at with stuff. And so taking off that mask has been completely life-changing, because I grew up in the church, so it was always really easy to be like, oh, I'm how's it going, brother? I'm good. Everybody says they're good, right? Nobody really says, like, gives their feelings a seat at the table. I'm not saying you got to let your feelings sit at the head of the table, but sometimes you need to let them have a seat so you can tell them where to go, right? So, and that was, and so doing that for the first time has brought so much freedom in my marriage, in my family. Like, I'm actually present with my kids. I'm not thinking about my business and other stuff going on. I'm like real. I'm there. And so I, even just doing this, right? Like, I could get up here and be like, oh yeah, things are good, and this happened, and I fasted ice cream, and I was off of social media for 2 weeks. Like, that's surface. That's like right here, right? I want to go here and say, hey, this is what God's really done over the last 2 weeks. And so I want to encourage the men in this room to be real. Be real with your wife. Be real with where you're really at. Because if one man can change, right, he can change the generations in his family to come, right? It's like you're the sift, I think is the right word, and we're mining for all the gold, and all the crap that you've dealt with, right, is you're going to be able to withhold that from coming down to your kids. You're breaking off generational curses. You're not allowing the same things to be the same. And that, yeah, amen. And so I just want to encourage the men in this room to be real, be vulnerable with your wife, not just with the other men in your life, but be vulnerable and real, because it will change everything. That's it.